Hey, I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. I'm in Bangkok today. For the next few days, I'll be elsewhere. I'll be in the Kanchanaburi, Sangkhlaburi, Three Pagoda Pass area, checking things out there, bringing you some videos and photos from that area. And I'll also be traveling with one other person. He's a guy who's going to go with me to Cambodia, and then I have another chap that will be coming in about 3 weeks. And I know both of these guys. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. And hopefully, I'll get to introduce you to contestant number one. I'm supposed to meet him today, so we'll see what I can come up with. But the first thing is that I wanted to go over something because of everybody who said about all the guys who said, oh, well, maybe it's a troll for the last set of videos that I did. Maybe, like I said, maybe. But I got a couple of emails or messages. This one, one of them's an email. And let me just read them to you because these are guys who didn't really get stung, but they learned at the last minute and they kind of realized that things sometimes are exactly as I say. Not that I'm perfect or anything by any means. Anyway, this guy writes in from Germany. Hello, Scott. Watched your videos a little while ago. And all I want to say is thank you that you inform people about the stuff about Thai women. When I watched about maybe 10 of your videos, I just thought to myself, oh my fucking God, why didn't I watch your videos much earlier? Am I really that stupid? The simple and short answer is yes, I was that fucking stupid. Long story short, I fell in love with a bar girl, and yes, nearly every of your damn stereotypes you are stating about Farang going to Thailand for the first times fit to me. Ha 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 ha. Well, better learn it the hard way than never. Okay. Luckily, I only spend money on that girl when I was together with her and only sent her 200 euro once in a week moment. Now I am happy that I found out that she is not honest with me. Had a bad stomach feeling all the time. Not sure why. I only used my second lower brain. Thanks, Scott. Keep up the work. You're doing good. Chokdi and take care. So-and-so, 26, from Germany. P.S. Sorry for any grammar mistakes. And like I said, to him, it could have been a whole lot worse than 200 euro. So it's good. Hopefully he learned a lesson. Most guys have to. I mean, like I know I slam guys. Sometimes I slam them because they're flat out stupid. And there's no room in stupidity in life, especially when you got people trying to scam you. That's all. Now I got another letter from a guy, and he's somebody who I've been in contact with several times. And he writes, "Hey Scott, just want to share my story about my time living in Thailand and my experiences with Thai women. Not that I need any advice, but I do enjoy listening to your commentary when you read letters to Thailand. I'm a 38-year-old Canadian-American living in Samut Songkhram since June of last year, teaching English at a private school. I mainly came to Thailand to get away after going through a rough split with the mother of my two children. When I first arrived, I hooked up with this woman I met over the internet. Uh-huh. You know what? I have several friends who they meet girls over the internet while they're here in Thailand, and they live here. And every single one of them, almost inevitably, if the girl meets them, they end up in bed together the first night. Sometimes they stick around for a while, sometimes they don't. But I don't know. I mean, if you're looking for a long-term relationship, especially coming out of one with a woman and you got two kids with her, I don't know that I would want to do it over the internet. Anyway, she said she was 27. I did a little research in her purse and found out she was actually 47. Ooh. I don't know how you couldn't tell, but you never know. I dumped her and spent some time alone since that's the true reason I came to Thailand in the first place. After being alone for 2 weeks in the middle of July, 2 weeks? from what I know and what I have heard from the so-called experts on relationships, after you're in a serious relationship, like you're married and you got a couple kids and you split up, you should allow at least 1 year. That doesn't mean you shouldn't get laid, but it means you don't get into a relationship. And if you're not strong enough to say, okay, I'll just have sex with her, we'll just have a good time together, but it's not going to be a relationship, then guess what? You're going to go celibate for a while. You're going to go cellulite for a while. Let's see here. I met another girl. This one was 29. She was divorced with a 8-year-old daughter. She's Chinese from Pitsanalok. I met her in Chiang Rai, where she was living, and we toured there together and had a good time. I returned to my home. 2 weeks later, she shows up to my apartment with all her belongings and moves herself into my apartment. It was just as if I had no choice. I just had a woman land into my life. I figured this might not be bad, after all, since it's not always good to be alone. Dude, that is a major screw-up. The thing about Thai women, good or bad, is almost all of them. And what I mean, I don't mean they're bad because they happen to be Thai or whatever. I'm just talking about they just happen to be a woman who basically has no scruples. She's out to get your money or whatever, and she'll do anything at all costs. And then the good women is that they tend to be very charming. They're raised to be that way. They're raised to be charming, polite, and they're generally very likable. Most Thai women are pretty likable. So for her to show up at your doorstep, guess what? I would have said, honey, I don't know what you're doing, but you're not moving in with me. I mean, it's nice you're here. Maybe, you could spend the night, but you're not moving your stuff in and you're not moving in. It's as simple as that. You have to be strong enough to say no. And I can't believe that. And knowing this guy the way that I do, from talking to him several times, I would have thought that he was, he had enough here to be able, he had enough strength to be able to say, honey, as much as I like you, as hot as you are, as much of a piece that you are to me and how good you make me feel, I gotta say, you can't come in. No, you're not moving in. You can lay on my bed for a couple hours and have sex with me, but other than that, your stuff's going back wherever you came from, for whence you came. You figured it might not be bad because it's not always good to be alone. It sounds to me like, I was 2 weeks, I was alone. Oh my goodness. Come on, dude. Really? It's not good to be alone? Well, it's not good to be alone, but it's also not good to be in a relationship when you don't know somebody and you're just with them because you don't want to be alone. I think you need to learn to be alone. And I know, listen, I don't particularly like being alone, and that's probably one of the many reasons why when I got married, I just said, marriage is a lifelong commitment. And although, every once in a while we have our little arguments and our tiffs or whatever, for the most part, neither one of us wants to be alone. We like being around each other, but we got to know each other first before we decided, let's move in together and get married. I don't know. Okay, whatever. You did what you did. I went to teach at a school the following Monday, and this man from Chiang Rai, claiming to be your husband, telephones the school and tells them I caused his wife to leave him and their 2 children. You see? Now, had you said, adios, honey, you can't come in and stay, and maybe if you knew her a little bit better, this wouldn't have happened. I went home and confronted her about this, which she stated was true. She said that she had a daughter and a son, and she was living with her husband, and that 4 years ago, he started sleeping with her best friend, and she was waiting for the opportunity to leave. I asked her why she didn't tell me about our living situation, and her reply was she knew I wouldn't want to be involved with her if I had known, and she was right about this. I wouldn't become involved with a woman in a complicated situation. I don't blame you, buddy. In fact, I would have told her, you're out of here. I mean, that if that's not a reason for you to give her the boot, then nothing is. So now I was involved with a wait a minute. Now I was living in Thailand, stuck with a lying, possessive woman who would track every move I make. Well, now that's a different set of issues, which you didn't say at first. But so what are you with her for? For the ass? I mean, it's like, come on, dude. It's Thailand. If you have to, go down to 7-Eleven and, the massage parlor and fork over a little cash and get your product. I mean, if that's how you want to think about it. I mean, it's not like you can't have anything. And if worst comes to worst, there is self-gratification. Buy yourself a little teddy bear that you can hug at night. I don't know. During school breaks, I took her with me as I traveled Thailand. One such break, we had to pass through Bangkok as we finished a week in Koh Chang. She got mad at me for no reason and walked away from me in public. So you ended up staying with her. Not smart at all. I mean, whatever. Again, whatever. It's a little late now. You already did it. And, okay. Now I'm the type of guy that looks at a woman who gets mad for no apparent reason, walking away from me in public as having no true commitment to me. Well, you got to, listen, I mean, women get mad and you're like, what are you mad for? What are you getting angry about? And, you think it's no big deal, but to her it's a big deal. Now, I don't like that walking away, hanging up on the phone, doing things like that. To me, that's childish, it's juvenile, and, maybe I'm a little more mature, but I don't want to have to deal with that kind of nonsense. I caught the bus to my destination and took a minivan back to Samut Songkram alone. Alone? She arrived home later with the same shitty attitude. I would have had her stuff sitting out on the doorstep. I felt she was being ungrateful after all I did for her. Well, I don't know what you did for her, but by December we decided I would go work in the U.S. and save money for marriage. Dude. She's a lying, possessive woman with a shitty attitude who will walk away from you when she doesn't like something and won't even tell you what's going on. And then she just showed up on your doorstep and said, hey, honey, guess what? I'm here. Yeah, that's real smart. Sorry, dude, I wasn't planning on slamming you, but after reading this again, I'm like, dude, what were you thinking? Let's see here. Her mother already received sinsod from the first husband. Why would they require sinsod again for damaged goods is beyond me. I had no intentions of paying it. Should I marry her in the first place? I went to the U.S. and started work in December. Shortly after, she takes a trip to visit her aunt in Japan. While there, she tells me there is an older man in his 60s who's rich and wants to marry her, and her mother says she must marry him. I wished her all the best and figured that's the end of her. She makes her way back to Thailand a week later and tells me she hates Japan. I figured her aunt wanted to broker a marriage between her and the guy, but when she saw how boring life is in Japan, she reneged and figured I could be her backup. After a couple days later, after returning to Thailand, she disappeared, and I didn't hear from her when normally we talk every day since I've been in the U.S. After catching up with her, I found out she went to stay with her children to look after them. I asked her why she didn't tell me in the first place, and she tried to lie her way through it. Now my feelings have changed. She told me her family says if I love her, I must accept her children. Well, that is true, but, I mean, she's a lying, conniving, cheating woman who, you can't trust. What do you want to be with her? And who showed up at your doorstep unannounced and decided she's going to move right in. To me, that's like you didn't have the balls. And I'm sorry to put it this way because I know you're a good dude, but you didn't have the balls to stand up to her and say, hey, honey, you know what? I don't know what you think you're doing, but you're not moving in. But you looked at it like, oh, well, maybe I'll have some free ass. I won't be alone. I got a new little girlfriend and everything is okay. Not very bright. I accepted her based on what I knew, based on a lie, and had no choice but to walk away. She was always demanding money. There's another wonderful attribute that she has that should have been enough to drive you away. She's got many here that should should have made you walk away right from the beginning, and you didn't. She was always demanding money since I started working in the U.S. I wouldn't send her a damn thing. I have a Thai lady friend who explained to me any respectable Thai woman would never ask a man for money. Well, certainly not a Thai woman who isn't married to you, or who you don't have children together with, and who maybe you've got expenses and you've got responsibilities to take care of with together. But like this kind of thing, I mean. You watched all my videos, and you need a Thai lady to tell you that no respectable Thai woman would be asking you for money. Well, first, she probably have her own job. But, like I said, you don't want to listen to me. You're not the first guy, and thank you for the fodder for my video. These are a couple of other types of videos. All right, well, anyway, so tomorrow I'm splitting. I'm out of here. And hopefully I'll have quite a few videos coming up in the next month or two where I don't sit here behind this desk answering emails and reading them and going over all kinds of this nonsense. Because, believe it or not, for me, there are other things in the world besides women. And it's a subject, women are a subject that most men, when they get together, at some point they will talk about them, whether positive or negative, but they're just a part of life. And when you're married, you don't have that constant urge to go around finding one for whatever the reason. So, anyway, thank you guys for those messages. I appreciate them. And until next time, I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Choke